In this video, I want to talk about lifestyle design. Now, what is lifestyle design? Well, lifestyle design means choosing the job that will give you the lifestyle that you want. And that means not assuming that your job needs to dictate your lifestyle. So you choose the job that fits the lifestyle, not the lifestyle gets chosen for you by your job. Let me give you some examples. Now, let's say that you want to do a lot of traveling. Then it makes sense to get a job with an airline. Now, it takes a long time to train to be a pilot, but it's not too difficult to become a member of the cabin crew. You get to travel to wherever the aeroplane is going, and you get to see lots of places that you normally wouldn't get to see. The downside? Well, there's always one, isn't there? First of all, you're away from home a lot, and that can be hard if you have a family. Airlines tend to fly to the same places over and over again. And when you've seen one place a few times, it becomes a bore, no matter how exotic it is. And on short-haul flights, the turnaround time is fast, and you might not even get to leave the airport. But at least you do get to do a lot of traveling. Another option then would be to get a job working for an airline at an airport. You could work on the check-in desk or as a reservations clerk, for example. And most airlines offer free or heavily discounted travel to employees and their families. Plus, of course, you get to meet all sorts of interesting people. The downside there, well, these jobs don't pay very much unless you happen to be at a senior management level. And often you have to work for the airline for some time before you're entitled to any travel benefits. Paying customers get priority, so you could find yourself booted off a flight when it makes a stopover. And I know of someone this happened to. He used to work for an airline. He was traveling on the company time, and the plane landed in another airport for a stopover, and they needed his seat for a paying customer, so he had to get off. And the paying customer got on. His luggage went on to wherever the plane was going to, and he had to hang around in the airport for over a day until he could get another flight to wherever he was going, and then he had to retrieve his luggage, and it was all a big hassle. So there are, a big downside because obviously, paying customers get the priority because that's how the airline makes its money. A third option, if you want to travel, is to become a so-called digital nomad. Now, a digital nomad travels the world while at the same time making a living off the internet. And this can be offering a service like copywriting or website designing, or it could be selling a product either as a creator or an affiliate. And all you need is your laptop and somewhere quiet, like a coffee shop, a library, or a shady spot on the beach to work from for a few hours each day. And you can go wherever funds will allow, and you can stay for as long as your visa will let you stay. But of course, a digital nomad will sacrifice a lot of their creature comforts because you're living out of a suitcase or a backpack the whole time, and this isn't a lifestyle that's going to suit everyone. However, for the right kind of person, this is really a dream way to live. But what about if you don't like traveling? What if physical fitness is important and you like being outdoors? Well, you could always get a job on a building site. Skills like welding, carpentry, and bricklaying are not difficult to acquire, and lots of technical schools and colleges offer courses so you can learn how to do these things properly and get the required certifications. Of course, there are downsides. You do run the risk of injury, and the work isn't always constant, and sometimes it's dependent on the weather and that sort of thing. Plus, of course, in some places, there's other hassles that you might not be aware of. Things like you might have to join a union, and you might have to get someone to propose you to join the union before they'll let you in and let you work, and that sort of thing. All sorts of things that aren't perhaps readily apparent to the outsider. But if your passion is competitive weightlifting, then this is the ideal way to ensure that you stay at the peak of physical fitness without having to spend all of your free time at the gym. And if winter sports are your thing, then it makes sense to move to the mountains, at least for part of the year, and find work at a ski resort or someplace similar. And then, of course, you can go skiing or indulge in other winter sports in your off time. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that it's the desired lifestyle that chooses the job rather than the other way around. And you don't have to be defined by your career. And you don't have to do what your family's always done. I know if you're young and you're watching this video, you might perhaps be under pressure from your family because, if you come from, say, a family of doctors, then there might be pressure for you to become a doctor as well. Or if you come from a military family, there might be some pressure for you to go into the military because that's what your father and your grandfather and all the others have always done. But you don't have to do it. There's no law that says you have to do it. You might not be very popular if you decide that you want to become a ski instructor rather than going to the Air Force or something like that. But there is no law that says you have to do it. And another thing is you don't have to stick with the same line of work if it no longer suits your lifestyle. People change over years, and the sort of job that you may have gone into when you left school or when you left university, well, it might not appeal anymore. You might feel that you want another challenge, and that's perfectly okay as well. And you don't have to do just one job either. For example, you might move to the mountains because you like the winter sports, but if you also like photography, you could become a landscape photographer as well and take stunning pictures after all the snow has melted. And you can sell them to magazines, or you can list them on photography websites to earn a living in the off-season. And likewise, you could work at an airline for the travel benefits, but you could also run an internet marketing business on the side. You could have a monetized blog or an e-commerce site, for example, and that might end up generating more money than you get from your day job. Again, you're designing your work around your lifestyle rather than letting your work dictate the kind of lifestyle that you're going to have.